Hi, this is Dima Brook from XP.network, and today we're going to discuss royalties. The etymology of the word dates back to ancient times. Initially, there was no concept of private property. Natural resources didn't belong to anyone. However, once people discovered agriculture and started investing time and effort in the cultivated land, they started feeling it was theirs. But not all the people were producing. Some became professional warriors and used their power to conquer other people's land. But the warriors still needed peasants to cultivate the land, so they leased it to the peasants and received a fee. Great warriors gathered big armies, conquered land, and their less successful counterparts, and became kings. This is where the word royalty started shaping. Gradually, a system evolved where kings gave land to their immediate supporters who became large landlords. The landlords spread the land among their vassals, who comprised their private armies. The vassals leased the land to the peasants who paid for using the land. Royalties came backward. The commoners paid the barons paid the dukes, who brought the money to the king. In the modern world, royalties apply to intangible items, such as patents, trademarks, and copyrights, and tangible ones, including land, property tax, mineral rights, and art resale royalty, which became the prototype for the NFT royalties in the blockchain era. NFTs with royalties can be broadly divided into the following groups: art, music, or photos, minted as NFTs, sport and trading cards, collectible NFTs, domain names that can be used as logins or as DNS addresses, game utilities such as swords, shields, armor, spaceships, and locations in metaverses. Creators of the NFT collections can set their contracts to notify the interested parties about the secondary sales and the percentage the sellers owe to the asset owners. The first standard responsible for royalties is ERC 2981. It is implemented by OpenZeppelin and can be added to the contracts as an extension. The contract storage is represented by a private variable default royalty info, used for holding the address of the global beneficiary. If royalties are set individually for every NFT, there is a mapping called token royalty info. In any case, the information is stored in a royalty info structure. The default beneficiary can be set with an internal function called setDefaultRoyalty. The function takes two parameters: the beneficiary address and the royalty percentage. The internal function must be wrapped with a public or external function calling it. It has two sanity checks. It verifies that the royalties are equal or less than 100, and that the beneficiary is not address 0. Then the private variable default royalty info is set with a royalty info type struct. Individual token royalties are set in a similar way. There is an additional parameter, the token ID, used for accessing the token record in the mapping. If the same two sanity checks pass, the record for the selected NFT is updated with a new beneficiary and the fraction awarded as royalties. An important function of the contract is the fee denominator. Since Solidity doesn't support floating point numbers, percentage precision to 0.01 is achieved by setting 100% to 10,000. Then setting the royalty percentage, multiply your number by 100. For example, 10% is the same as 1,000. 7.5% should be passed as 7,500. To access the royalty information, the royalty info function must be called with the token ID and the sale price as arguments. ERC 2981 only signals royalties. If a marketplace contract doesn't call the function providing the royalty information, the creator's rights will not be observed. It checks if the NFT has individual settings. Depending on the outcome of the check, it either returns the default royalties or individual token royalty settings. It is important to mention that a new royalty standard has been under development since March 14 this year. EIP 4910 hasn't been accepted at the moment of shooting. So it exists as a proposal and may change in the nearest future. Thus, we will not discuss it in detail. Here you can see that it is only a proposal and hasn't been accepted yet. Surprisingly, only 1 out of 6 top marketplaces supports royalties. Rarible supports both ERC 2981 and, yet unaccepted, EIP 4910. OpenSea allows the collection owners to set royalties to one or multiple beneficiaries in the UI of the marketplace, which we will see in the next slide. Nifty Gateway, Foundation, and Engine have fixed 10% royalties, while Super Rare sets 15% royalties for the first sale and 10% for the rest. Here is a fragment of the OpenSea UI where royalties can be set. We can click the Add Address button if we want to add multiple addresses. So the more addresses we have, the more times we click the button. XP.network Bridge doesn't just bridge NFTs or SFTs. We keep the logic of the contracts, including the royalties, on the destination chain. To find out how to map contracts, watch the video about mapping contracts. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel to be notified of the new videos, and see you next week.